Yeah, that's an interesting question, and that kind of interested us as well, Rex, because before, with all the games before, it had actually been the pacers that had gone for less than the spinners. So we kind of did our planning around what we thought was our best attack, and clearly our two best spinners and what we thought two best pacers, by hitting a hard length, would have a pretty good impact. And I still think that was the right way to go. I don't think we executed quite well enough with our seam bowlers, but our spinners were obviously amazing in that game. No, certainly not. Kusal Janeth has done everything right to get himself ready and prepare for the games. His preparation's been outstanding. He's worked extremely hard, and it just hasn't worked for him. And sometimes that happens. But I'm fully confident he's still one of our most dynamic short form batsmen. And when he's on song, he's a match winner for us. So there's still one game to go. Let's see what happens. But he's disappointed, as we all are, with his form so far. But it hasn't been through any lack of trying. He's worked extremely hard at his game. I just thought it was his. He just needs to get going. I thought in the Australian game, I saw a tempo come back to his batting, a tempo that he normally bats with. I thought I saw that come back, and all he needs is its form is such a fickle thing in this game. All he needs is to bat 20 balls, and if he can bat 20 balls, we know he'll have around about 20 runs. And after that, he will explode, So I don't think he's out of form, particularly with the bat. I think he just hasn't got any tempo yet to his batting, and tempo is such an important thing in 2020 batting. So I still back him 100%. So let's hope that we know that he's a match winner. So let's just hope that that he delivers for us at some point, or with the West Indies game. Look, Rex, I'm very, very proud of the way these guys have gone about it. I said before the campaign that I thought 2020 was our worst format, and we know that we're in a building phase as a cricket nation. We've turned the corner. I certainly think our test team's in a good place. I think our one-day team is getting there. It was the 2020 team that worried me a little bit. I think myself, selection panel, coaches have identified some really good young players, and then I think we've trusted them to deliver. We've allowed them. Always talk about in coaching, the roots to grow and wings to fly, and I think we've allowed them those wings to fly, and we're getting some very, very good performances out of them. But I have to reiterate time and time again just how proud I am of these group of guys, because the work that they have put in has been second to none. The Sri Lankan nation can be incredibly proud of the attitude, the intensity, and the work ethic of this group, because they've been wonderful. So we've shaken up the World Cup. I think we have. We're not going to qualify this year, but Sri Lankan cricket is now in good hands. We've got some very good young players who just need consistency in message. They need consistency in selection, and they need to be given a platform to go and play. So I sit here immensely proud of the efforts of the players, immensely proud of the efforts of the support staff who've put in a massive amount of work with these players. And I think I'd like to say we've just planted the seeds, because I think in a year or two's time, those seeds are going to start turning into some pretty good flowers, and Sri Lankan cricket's in a healthy state with these bunch of young players. Look, every team I've coached has had subtle differences, and that's what's made my journey a very interesting and fulfilling one. these Sri Lankan boys are wonderful boys. They disciplined. They train hard, these young players. I think we've developed a really good sound work ethic with them. I think they understand what the requirements are to play at this level. And they're going to get their reward down the line, but I've loved everything I've had to do with Sri Lanka. I love the people, I love the country, and for these young players, there's a very bright future ahead of them. As I said so many times, we've just got to be consistent with them, and we're going to get hopefully we'll get some consistent performances later down the line.
Where the richest offerings of nature are turned into a finer form through pure craftsmanship. And I'm not talking about the sapphire on my ring.
Lanka tiles, designed for you, desired by the world.
Yeah, look, I think we've shaken up teams. I think we've pushed teams. The disappointing thing for me is that in every game we've played, the last three, whether it be that Australia, be that South Africa, and be that England, we've had opportunities to win the game. And I continually stress with our boys that in any 2020 game, there's going to be an opportunity to win it. And if you've got the ball in the hand, or if you've got to have the bat in the hand, you've got to understand, you've got to identify that moment, and then you've got to be ready for it. And a couple of those moments have presented themselves, and we just haven't taken them. But again, as I say, I can't be more proud of this group, because we've pushed England, we've pushed all the bigger nations, and for me to see how far we've come as a group, when I watch Patam Nasanka, Charath Asalanka, Dushmanta Chamira, Wanindu Hasaranga, Mahesh Tekshana, Dashan Shanaika, Chamika Karunaratne, you can name 8 or 9 players. When I watch them perform, I get immensely proud, because I know how much they've put into it. And for me as a coach, to guide these players to perform on what has been the biggest stage has been a real honor. And again, I sit back and I look at what these guys are going to offer Sri Lankan cricket in the future, and I know that we're in very, very good hands, and I'm really excited about what that future has in store for Sri Lankan cricket. Yeah, every game for us is so important, and I've stressed with the players, it's now about us preparing physically and mentally. The guys are absolutely shattered. They've given their all for this campaign, and we've been on the road for a long time now. We've been in bubbles for sure. I think I worked it out. Of the last 11 months, we've been in bubbles for about 240 days now, and these guys are shattered mentally and physically, but they're up for tomorrow because they want to end on a high. As I've continually stressed with them, whatever we've done, and yeah, we haven't won games at this tournament, but we've pushed sides. Whatever we've done, we're going to be judged by what we do in our last game. So our mind, our preparation has not changed. We've got all our bowling meetings, batting meetings. Analytical work is all being done in the next couple of hours, and the guys are putting their mind to it for one last push, because they want to end this World Cup on a massive high. I think I sit here really comfortable with our bowling structure, our bowling structure with our 2 paces, and that can be a right arm seamer, can be a left arm quick. Dushmanta Chamira is world class at the moment. I love our 2 mystery spinners. I think they give us that little bit of mystique, if you like. I think our 5th and 6th bowlers are adequate. So I'm comfortable with that. Our batting is getting better and better all the time. And I guess for me, it's just striving to get that batting working as a real oiled machine. Everybody's got a clear role. And we've, the young boys have really stood up and played exceptionally well in that. But when I watched England out in the field, and we fielded well at times, and one of our goals and one of our ethos as a team is to become the best fielding side in the world. When I watched how clinical England were in that department, and England have showed the stability within their core group for a long period of time. That's something that I'm striving for with the Sri Lankan side. I'm striving to create depth in our batting. I'm striving to create some depth in our bowling. As I say, I think our format's right. And we've just got to keep pushing the limits to our fielding. We're getting better all the time. But those are areas that, that we want to fine tune. So to answer your question, I'm looking for that extra little bit of depth in every department. And then we'll start really challenging the good side. The key for me, Fidel, is consistency. So it's consistency in the messaging. It's consistency in the selection. It's consistency in terms of role clarity for our players. And then you can build something that's very, very good. I think with Sri Lankan cricket for years, and I read your article. I thought your article was brilliant, by the way. It's the inconsistencies that we've had as a playing nation that has led to the team kind of not achieving what it has. It's led to, I guess, to people being a little bit insecure and not understanding their positions all the time. And then you get that little players playing for themselves a bit because they're not scared if they fail once and get dropped, when do they come back to the team? So I'm just striving for consistency in everything that we do, and that's execution, messaging, and selection. And then I think that we will go a long way with the resources that we have. Again, these guys have been brilliant. Yeah, Aruna, he played really well early on. He just again is a little bit like Kusal Janeth. He just hasn't got going in the competition itself. Ivishka Fernando's a wonderful player. He's a very, very good player in the white ball format at the moment, and it's a pity he just hasn't got going. But again, I back him 100%, and I'm sure there's a big innings just around the corner from him. Oh, look, he just excites me every time I see him with a ball, or I see him with a bat, or I see him in the field. He excites me as a cricketer. He's a wonderful one, and I think I said it, as you said, right from the start when I saw him the first time. Again, we've just got to keep supporting him because he's a wonderful, wonderful player at the moment. He's riding the crest of a wave. He's in good form. He's a confidence player. His confidence is sky high, and I just get really, really excited for what he's going to achieve for Sri Lankan cricket down the line. He's a wonderful player, Wanindu, but he also, it doesn't happen by chance. He works unbelievably hard at his game and doesn't leave anything to chance in terms of his preparation. So I couldn't be more happier with where he is at the moment. He's a genuine world superstar at the moment. No, Champika, I think our preparation was superb. I think the Sri Lankan Cricket Board have been excellent with us. I thought going to Oman was brilliant for us as a group. We got to playing in these conditions early. We got to training together early. We got to setting up our plans and structures early. We had a camp before we left. We came to Oman and we came over. We were in red hot form through the qualifiers. I honestly sit here and think it was the perfect preparation. I think selection. I think the selectors did a wonderful job. I think they certainly got the right players. We've built something for the future. I guess the thing that the thing that I'll always look back on this World Cup at is, I know we were a young team, but we had chances, we had opportunities, certainly to beat South Africa, and we had an opportunity to certainly beat England. And those missed opportunities, I think, are going to be the thing that haunts me at the end of it when I look back. But again, as I've always said, I'm just immensely proud of these group of players and coaches who have worked incredibly hard as a unit for 250 days in the last 11 months in a bubble. They've been wonderful.
අපේ කොල්ලන්ට ලංකාවේ අපේ ජාතික පැතුම් එක් කරන ඩයලොග්.
Stay on the ball with the Papare Sports News Alerts. Don't miss out on everything that happens in the world of sport. Type the Papare and send to 678 to register. ₹30 per month. Conditions apply.